What's up, guys? Welcome to the Suddenly News Network. I'm Riven.
And I'm Talos.
And before we begin this episode, I'd like to thank everyone for the feedback regarding our first episode of the Suddenly News Network. I know that it was a little rough around the edges, but we're going to try to work as hard as we can to improve it as much as possible. For all the new subscribers, welcome to our channel. I'm glad to know you guys are interested in our opinions regarding video game related topics. And for those tuning in for the first time, if you enjoy our content, you can always support us by liking and subscribing. It's May 28th, 2020. Let's get on with the news.
All right, let's do it.
All right, first article of the day. An article by The Verge. Sony's first PS5 game reveal could be on June 3rd. Sony's reportedly planning a PlayStation 5 game event for June 3rd. Bloomberg reports that Sony's virtual event is tentatively planned for next week, but that plans have been in flux and that the day may change. Sony is said to be focusing on games for this PS5 event and is not expected to reveal every essential detail on the console during the first event.
Yeah, if you guys recall, during the I guess the very first press release, it was very tech heavy, where he talked about the console itself, the PS5, the controller. It was really geared for gamers, and so I'm very excited to see what games are actually coming out for the PS5. So it says the essential details on the console itself. So kind of like what I was talking about before, they won't go into like probably how much the console is going to cost. They probably won't talk about any more of the tech heavy stuff that we mentioned before in the previous, I guess, conference.
Right.
That's probably what they're talking about.
I feel like they will. They will talk about the price point. I think that's one of the things that they might cover. It's been rumored that the PS5 might be coming out for like $49.99 for a while now. So let's see if that's like one of the essential details that
They're talking about.
They're talking about, yeah, and also the appearance for the PlayStation 5. What do you?
Oh yeah, they haven't unveiled it. That's right.
Yeah. So I think Xbox already released the Xbox Series One. You know, it's I feel like it got like some mixed reviews, some mixed opinions because of how blocky it looks like. So it should be interesting to see what the PS5 is going to look like.
But as you look into the controller here, it looks very high tech. So I'm assuming that there's some like as prototype images for the PS5. It has like a similar retro tech look, but I'm hoping it's going to look much better than the Xbox for sure. Like,
yeah, as you can see, the controller has two different color schemes, right? It's got like like a all black and a sort of two-toned, partly black, partly white appearance.
So
to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of this this white the white color scheme.
Oh really?
Yeah.
For me, I actually really like the white one.
Well, a lot of people have been joking about how it sort of looks like a tank top. You know, it looks like a woman's tank top, right? Like this part here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the black looks just like very sleek. But
the black looks too plain to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the controller itself, it looks pretty similar to the PS4 controller. You know, there isn't really like
they say it's a little bit
difference.
bigger though, because later I'll be talking more about the controller. But like to me, I feel like it's bigger. It has there's a couple of patents that they release. But I don't know. It's hard to make a judgment on it until you feel the controller. But just from it right now, it is going to be slightly bigger than what we're used to.
Yeah.
This is one of the images that came out that it might look like that. But I guess we'll find out in the actual event but looking at this though, it looks a lot. It kind of like matches the theme of the controller, and I really think it looks nice. So
yeah, I like the look. I mean, I like this design. It's very sleek. I feel like it looks like a laptop. You know, like a laptop, and you could probably like just put it in like a laptop bag or something, right? If you need to carry it, bring it somewhere. But yeah.
But this is all speculation, of course. It is not the final images. So
And I hope like one of the essentials that they talk about for this press conference is the possible release date. Now I know we
Yes.
covered this in the previous episode about Xbox is it's planning on releasing the Xbox Series One in 2020, and PS5 is slated to release for 2020.
Yes. I still think it's good. Like, if you notice, the PS4 came out like mid-November. So I'm thinking that it's either going to be released like early December or late November is my prediction.
Right.
Because the PS4 came out November 15th.
Looking at it from like a business point of view, right? Like who like is it more of an advantage to release it before the Xbox Series One, or you think after?
It's kind of hard to say right now because obviously we don't know what launch titles are going to be for the consoles. We
Right.
won't know that until obviously the June event and the July event for Xbox.
Right.
So that will kind of determine the moving pieces there of what will determine like a certain advantage for which consoles coming out. But just from the hype alone, as of right now, PS5 has the advantage. So I believe no matter if they release it before or after, PS5 will still have an advantage.
Right.
But it's still tough to say.
Sony right now is at an advantageous position because when Microsoft did the Xbox Series One gameplay showcase, it
Mhm.
was pretty much a failure, right? Because they didn't really show off actual like raw gameplay. They were just
Yeah, they
showing off
did. Yeah.
cutscenes, and I think what Sony's got to do is capitalize on that, and hopefully we'll get some real gameplay footage from whatever it is that they're planning on releasing.
Yeah, that's a very good point because like that was what really kind of threw off a lot of people's like, and the fact that they named the video gameplay footages and they
Yes,
showed zero gameplay.
yes.
That's what really drove the like this I guess problem for the Xbox in their conference.
Mm,
So I really believe that Sony's going to capitalize on that for sure.
mm. Yeah, I mean, they don't even have to go too deep on anything. I mean, just show like at least just show us. If they show us like some titles, like maybe like 10 seconds, 15 seconds of like titles or something like that, I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Hmm.
They don't have to go crazy about 10-minute, 15-minute presentations on whatever.
Maybe
I,
into like titles. If they have a big title, then I can see them doing like a 10-minute one. But like it's tough to say will be a launch title for the PS5. The only thing I think of is maybe some like PS5 remasters of like maybe The Last of Us or
mm,
potentially Ghost of Tsushima, maybe
yeah,
PS5 remastered or
yeah.
PS5. Um,
Right. Because they did say that a couple of games from the previous generation, the PlayStation 4, will be compatible for PlayStation 5. Like you mentioned, Ghost of Tsushima, Cyberpunk 2077.
mhm.
So if anything, they might just, I guess they might just like reveal footage from those games on the PS5 hardware.
Correct.
So we're just gonna have to wait and see if the event actually goes live on June 3rd. But for now, it's we can only wait and speculate, right?
Yep. So speaking of like the PlayStation, some of the PlayStation exclusive that's coming out, The Last of Us Part Two, with the
Mm-hmm.
state of play details that just came out recently. So for this, well, we probably won't be talking too much spoilers or too much story related topics.
Yeah.
We're just going to talk about more of the gameplay aspects and gameplay changes that's going to happen with The Last of Us 2. So if you look in the first option here, this is all like possible locations and map details.
All right. So let's go over like the changes in The Last of Us Part Two. So The Last of Us Part Two picks up several years after the events of the first game, after they settled in a relatively peaceful settlement in Jackson, Wyoming. I don't know if that's the ending to like Last of Us One, but um,
Well, not really, because during the end of Last of Us, it's a totally different location. So they actually pick up on a brand new location.
Okay.
But that's actually not the final location. They're actually going to be more so in Seattle. But the one thing I want to point out here is the gameplay feature is going to be a little bit different because the world is going to be much more bigger than the what we've seen from the first game, and it's like so big where Ellie, the main character in that game, is actually going to have a horse you can use to transverse the area, as well as the use of a boat to transverse some of the water areas.
Yeah, according to this, right? These bullet points. It looks they're going for like more like a open world type thing. Because it says here the game will cover expansive parts of the world, including real life locations. The game will take place over multiple seasons and climates.
Yes.
From the snow-capped mountains of Jackson to the lush Pacific Northwest. So I'm assuming this is like some sort of massive open world map.
Yeah, so basically you'll experience fall, you'll experience winter, spring, all that, summer. And the one thing I want to kind of point out too, if you scroll a little bit further down, is it talks about potential new enemies and fractures. But those are a bit spoilery, so I won't have you read that, Riven.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to learn more about that, I will have the link in the description for all the articles that we discussed here today. Yeah. But this is what I want you to read: is more the combat details.
All right, let's check out the bullet points here. The Last of Us Part 2 combat details. Ellie's physical advantages come into play in combat. She's more agile than enemies and can dodge and counter enemies during fights. Because of the large map size, Ellie can use the environments to her advantage or avoid combat instances altogether. So it's still very much
similar
action, combat based, but they're still, keeping the whole stealth element.
Yeah, if you read further down, there's actually a thing here where they talk about where's that? I forgot where they mention it, but they if you get a chance to watch the demo, basically they actually have dogs that are there that can actually sniff out you and have a very strong smell. They can use those dogs to track you down. So you really have to know how to choose your battles wisely in the sequel. So the way I saw the demo is basically you have to kind of distract the dogs somehow by throwing something at dogs so the dogs could chase after it. But they'll still be able to track you down through your scents.
Right.
So if you go use the water or the river, you can actually throw off the scent of the dogs, and you can run away much easier from that. Similar to in the original, where it's best to kind of isolate the enemy. So
yeah.
you have one enemy here, you can actually use them as a target and stab them. Like I know in the original they weren't very very insta kills, and those sheaves are one time use.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one you actually have your own combat knife for insta kills on certain enemies.
Right.
So you can use that, or you can actually use them as kind of a hostile situation.
Yeah, like a body shield. It's like a meat shield.
Exactly. Yeah, you can use as even shield, exactly. And so it takes a little bit more strategy in terms of how you want to combat these enemies. And also what they revealed in the demo, to some degree, they're going to be revealing some new infected as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know about the stalkers, we know about the runners, and we know about the clickers. There's also a couple new enemies on there that are, because this takes place 3 years after the events of the original. There is more infected that are prolonged.
Right. And so some of the infected evolved into more monstrous versions of themselves. Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what all that entails.
Yeah, and it says here that they pretty much kept the same upgrade system. Skill weapon upgrade system is still there. You can scavenge for parts, customize your weapons. It's still all there.
From what I saw, it's a little bit more I guess added, but it still has that same feel that you're familiar with right now.
Right. If this game really is more open world, it's following that formula that game developers do, that they have a pretty linear first game, and then the second game they just somehow it's open world, right? I think they did that with Final Fantasy 13, right? Final Fantasy 13 was a pretty linear game, and 13.2 was more open world. Mm-hmm. You can even You can even parallel that with the Batman Arkham games, like the Arkham series. The second game was like open world, whereas the first game just took place in a smaller environment.
Yeah, the fact that Ellie needs to use a horse and a boat to get around in certain areas, yeah, it sounds like it's massive.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about like games using that formula to sort of expand the world? Do you think that's always like the first thing that like everyone should think about when they make a sequel? Like the second game just has to be like open world right away. I feel like there's a lot of
I wouldn't say it has to be open world, but it'll definitely has to be more expansive for sure. Like you don't want the second game to be smaller than the first game.
yeah. I mean, it could be smaller, but actually no, it can't be smaller. But
Yeah, it just can't be.
no, because like what I was thinking that it could be smaller but more detailed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I feel like that's like the go-to for most sequels is to automatically go open world. And I think there's like a subset of gamers who have gotten sick of open world. You know, like
Yeah, that's true.
because
They're
like
kind of like
how many games are coming out nowadays that are open world? You know, like I feel like a couple of us are kind of getting sick of it.
yeah, there's definitely a gamer fatigue for sure for open world.
Yeah. So apparently, The Last of Us Part Two has been banned in the Middle East.
And it kind of makes sense, like why it would be banned because of the basically Ellie here is a lesbian. She's open lesbian in this game.
Yes.
Possibly bisexual, but a lot of people are saying that it's just strictly lesbian. And of course, that's just not part of the religion in the Middle East, so it makes sense why it would be banned there.
But wait a minute. So this person, a Redditor by the name of Ghost Techful, spoke with PlayStation support and received an email which all but confirmed the title has been banned in the user's region. Although there's no word on why the supposed ban is in place, it's likely down to the romantic relationship between protagonist Ellie Williams and the new character Dina. Many Middle Eastern countries don't look favorably on same-sex relationships, with lots of regions banning media that shows such content. There's yet been an official announcement from either Sony or Naughty Dog on this matter. I mean, it's not openly confirmed, right? So it's I guess it's like the most likely case. I mean, what else could it be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like the first game, it wasn't banned, right? I pretty much had it ruined for me. Like they hinted at Ellie's sexual orientation in
Earlier.
Yeah, in The Last of Us. That's all I'm gonna say. They've already kind of hinted at it.
All right. So we're kind of going to talk. Well, speaking of leaks that you mentioned, Ribbon. Obviously, this is what happens when a game is leaked by a developer. It kind of, in a way, kind of ruins it. If you guys looked at the negative feedback that I guess fans are giving for the game, obviously they're not happy with where the story is going. Obviously, me and Ribbon, we were kind of ruined on that regard, but obviously we're not going to talk about that here in this video.
Yeah, for anyone who's not familiar with the story, right? With the drama, I guess like a really quick synopsis is that someone leaked The Last of Us, all the juicy details, you know. Supposedly it was like the rumor was going around that a disgruntled game developer was he wasn't paid, so he got back at Naughty Dog by releasing, you know, the leaks, but I think that was proven false.
Yeah, it was it was like a third party that helped worked on the game.
Yeah, who had access to the game and they released it.
Yeah, but obviously we're not gonna talk about what those leaks are, and we'll be moderating the comments so make sure don't leave any comments of the spoilers down on our views as well. But basically, it caused this thing with Naughty Dog teaming up with Twitter. And basically, Twitter is now going to start helping future, I guess, developers on spoilers. If you want to roll into that article, well, basically, if there's any comments or like basically Twitter's new feature is being used to combat video game spoilers and to kind of combat like stuff to prevent this from happening in the future.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's been effectively used or what the data is for that, but it kind of shows that spoilers are it's not good, like for anybody, developers, gamers, all that.
Yeah.
And if Twitter can or Twitter as well as other like social media can like help prevent spoilers from happening in the future, I think it's just a win-win all around.
Yeah, and it wasn't even Twitter that was being affected. YouTube too was a couple of videos.
YouTube.
Yeah, a couple of videos were getting copyright struck for having any kind of discussion or content regarding The Last of Us. So it wasn't just Twitter. So this whole leak scandal, it's definitely like, changed a couple of things in the video game landscape.
Do you think leaks will still exist, or do you think it's going to be harder to do in the future, or are developers going to be more aggressive with leaks and spoilers?
No, I think leaks will still eventually happen. I think they still. It just depends on how everyone is willing to react to them. I feel like the companies are just going to come down harder on some of the game developers. And anyone involved in the game, and that affects the content creators on social media too.
Yeah, but it has to be kind of fair for both sides, because obviously there's content developers who are going to talk about the game and possible leaks and how it affects what their opinions on it, but they at the same time, they shouldn't be banned or demonetized or what the case is for having an opinion. But at the same time, it comes down to the employees, making sure the employees are paid well, so they don't turn disgruntled if that was the case.
Yeah.
And find a way to keep the material safeguarded before the game's release.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes down to the actual developer themselves to kind of administrate that and find a way to keep that in-house.
But regarding the whole spoiler thing for The Last of Us, I personally don't care about them. Like, the stuff that we know are out of context. You can't take a clip or take a detail from a game, just completely take it out of context and give it to me, and I'm supposed to judge the whole game based on that little tiny detail.
No, that's a good point, because even though we were kind of spoiled by it, it still intrigues us to play the game, because we don't know what led to that point. We don't know the story elements that led to that point. So it could be anything. There's probably a logical reason why those certain events happen.
Yeah,
I know some people just can't stand spoilers at all.
Yeah,
so
I know.
So it's definitely personality based. But I know for me and Riven, it doesn't really affect our opinion on the game until we actually play the game in its entirety.
Yeah. If that spoiler is what's holding the entire storyline together, then I don't know. You're doing the game a disservice. You gotta take the entire thing in as a whole.
All right, guys, moving into Talos Tidbits. This is actually sponsored by our Amazon affiliate links down below. If you guys are interested in what gear we use for our live streaming or our recording sessions, definitely check out the description for what we use. And any support on those would be greatly appreciated and put right back into the streams here and videos. All right, the first of the Talos Tidbits, the big one, Final Fantasy VII Remake being April's 2020 best-selling game, setting a franchise record, followed by Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Animal Crossing New Horizon following below it in April's 2020 best-selling games.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation also announced the Day by Play 2020 sales. Some of the games included in this is Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranded, Days Gone, Last of Us Remastered, Spider-Man, and God of War. Sony also hints on some patents for this PlayStation 5 controller. Two big features: the haptic feedback that we talked about, which is more realistic feel for the controller, as well as the big one, wireless charging. Apparently, PETA's on the news today, protesting against Animal Crossing in-game museum. The in-game museum obviously featuring animals that you capture and pretty much trade into the museum to be imprisoned, I guess. But I guess PETA doesn't like that, so protesting against Animal Crossing in that regard. Now, for those who are big into Quantum Dreams, big news that it's going to be available for Steam starting next month. So you can jump into Detroit Become Human, and Beyond Two Souls is another good title that you guys check out for Quantum Dreams. So speed of games for the PS5, it looks like PlayStation may have inadvertently, accidentally revealed one of the exclusive titles for it, Gran Turismo 7. Some of the possible teases for Atlas. Looks like Atlas teased Persona 6 at the New Game Pro Expo, If you guys want to read more about any of the news that I talked about, obviously links will be in the description. Another big news, Final Fantasy 16 possible announcement coming out later this summer. Another Final Fantasy title that we are aware of is Crystal Chronicles Remastered, releasing this summer as well. Another big potential hint is Rockstar's parent company hints at a 2023 release for GTA 6. So that's another big title there. Another big title is Resident Evil 8 release date teased. So that might be coming out with more details coming out next month. So we'll definitely be on lookout for that. And in terms of horror games, new Silent Hill rumored to be a PS5 exclusive with Kojima not being involved. So that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Another game coming out, which is going to be more like a temporary release for Far Cry 5. It's going to be free this weekend alone, thanks to Ubisoft. Now, this is not going to be a permanent title. You can't actually keep the game, but if you want to play Far Cry 5 this weekend, it is available for you free this weekend. Finally, we get into new details on the rumored Kingdom Hearts TV series. Now, if you guys are big into Kingdom Hearts, there's no details out right now of who's going to be in it. If it's going to be live action, is it going to be, animated or anything like that? But once we find more about details on it, we'll definitely let you know. But that pretty much concludes all the Talos Tidbits for this week. So obviously, if you guys want to check out more about the Talos Tidbits, I have all the links in the description for you guys to check out.
Alrighty, changing gears. So in video game movie related news, this story just broke today. Cate Blanchett to star in Borderlands movie. Director Eli Roth's Borderlands has signed Lilith. So Cate Blanchett, who everybody knows, Oscar-winning actress. She. I mean, I'm not like a fan of hers, but I remember her from Lord of the Rings. She played Galadriel, and she was. I don't know if you saw Thor Ragnarok.
I did, yes.
You did, yeah. So she played what's her name, Hela or something like that. It was like Thor's like evil sister or something like that. Mm-hmm. So apparently she is going to be playing Lilith. For anyone who's played Borderlands, Lilith is one of the sirens and one of the main characters for Borderlands 1. And it's going to be directed by Eli Roth, which I think is a sort of an interesting choice for a director. And by interesting, I mean maybe awful. Because Eli Roth is known for making bad horror movies. Like he made the Hostel movies. I've saw Hostel, but that's about it. I'm not too familiar with him, but I know he has a reputation for being somewhat of like a B.
You don't
director.
think that's a good choice then?
I personally don't think so. Like just from his reputation alone, I think this is starting to look kind of bad. So I don't know how they're gonna make this work, right? I mean, she's obviously like a beautiful woman, right? But the problem with casting Cate Blanchett in Borderlands is that she's like in her 50s, and Lilith, the character, is in her 20s. I'm even surprised that they managed to get her because she's such a good actress. But apparently they worked on a movie before, so they obviously have good working relations. Yeah. And we'll just see where this takes us. But my own personal opinion, I think she's miscast. I think they're just using her reputation to boost the movie, and they could have easily just got like a new actress or something to play Lil, but I don't know. I think they should have just went with a new actress, someone younger, and yeah. But I feel like it's more of an indication that they feel like this movie is gonna fail. You know what I mean? So I think that they wanted like a strong actress,
strong name,
to carry it, sorta. But we're just gonna see what happens.
Yeah, we'll just wait and see. Recently, though, video game movies have been very good lately. Like if you talk about the, Pokemon Detective, Detective Pikachu, that was a great movie.
Even before that, I think the Tomb Raider one with Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah,
like Sonic was a good movie as well. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie.
Well,
but
I haven't seen it yet. So yeah, that's like piggybacking on that thought. So a sequel to the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is in development. So, Sonic the Hedgehog movie came out before the quarantine happened.
I think February. I think.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. From what I've heard, it's people really enjoyed it, but I know Talos has seen it. So,
Yeah,
Talos,
dude, like
what are your
it,
thoughts?
it was an amazing movie. Obviously there was a bit of backlash with Sonic when it originally came out because the design of Sonic was horrendous. It
Mm-hmm.
had like super long legs. It didn't look like the Sonic that we knew. But the fact that they redesigned it, took the effort to redesign it to what we see right there, it looks amazing. And there's a few things that we could probably talk about with like robotic with Jim Carrey. It was okay, but there were certain moments of like Jim Carrey where he was really being Jim Carrey from like The
Right.
Mask and Ace Ventura type style.
Right.
And I think it got a little bit too much in that regard, but it was still entertaining movie nonetheless. And
Yeah.
the fact that they're coming out with a sequel kind of makes sense. Overall, it was an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing about Jim Carrey. He's like one of those actors who I feel like he just plays Jim Carrey in every movie he's in. You
Mhm.
know, like he's like Will Smith, for example, right? Like he
Yes.
plays the same character pretty much. So it's to be expected to have like a Robotnik be like just Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if they put out a release date
I
for the
don't think so.
sequel.
Like the movie just came out February this year, so I doubt the sequel could be coming out anytime soon. Like I'll give it another 2 years. Maybe
Yeah.
next year we'll see some kind of teaser trailer, maybe.
So for our final topic, we're going to be talking about video game grandmas. So the first article we're going to cover talks about Shirley Curry, the Skyrim Grandma, and the drama that's happening with her nowadays. For anyone who doesn't know who Shirley Curry is, she's I think like an 80-year-old woman who she puts out content on YouTube with her playing Skyrim, and I think she also streams too, which is pretty cool to be honest
Yeah,
with
it is
you.
really cool. Yeah,
She's like very wholesome and very she's good for the community is what I'm saying.
yeah, and obviously, the fact that she plays Skyrim at that age, like that's incredible. I can't see my grandmother playing this game.
Yeah.
So even my mother, I don't see her playing any video games whatsoever. The fact that she's able to play video games even at her age, that's pretty damn cool.
She wanted to take some time for herself because she felt like streaming and putting out content was starting to get stressful. And yes, there were a couple of people commenting, throwing negative comments at her for like the way she played. So she wanted to kind of step back away from that to sort of get her health in order. I'm guessing she means mental health, right?
Yes.
Um, so according to this article, a particular point of frustration for Curry is the type of comments where somebody's telling her she should be playing differently or more optimally, while comments telling her she should be playing a different game are also getting on her nerves. I don't have to be reminded and told all the time which games to play, she says. I look at all the games, I'm a gamer. If I wanted to play them, I would be playing them. I don't have to explain myself. Curry's also sick of having to explain that she's been playing Skyrim to roleplay, not to speedrun or max level, and that she just has much more fun when I'm just playing by myself.
I mean, the thing is though with the whole gaming community, you can never please everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be those people that enjoy her role playing, that enjoy her wholesomeness. There's other people that's like, oh, just finish the game, finish that quest. Why are you taking forever to finish that quest? They're a little more impatient. They just want to get stuff done and see her get stuff done. So you really just can't please everybody. So I think the type of content that she makes is what makes her happy. So the fact that she's not rushing through it, that's just how she plays it. That's what makes her happy.
Right,
And
right.
the fact that she's not happy playing games because of what she's receiving might be the reason why she's kind of stepping back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. It doesn't. I don't think she says like how long she plans on stepping back, but God bless her. I think she should take as
As
much
much time
time
as you
as
need,
she
yeah.
needs. Yeah. It's also the schedule of having to put out a video
Yeah.
on X day or Y day, or having to worry about content and stuff like that, and thinking about schedules, and it does become stressful too.
Yeah, agreed. Making content online consistently, you really have to really love it. Like the fact that I've been doing it for this long, it shows that how much I really enjoy making content, playing games. There was a good amount of time where I did feel drained because obviously I never got to the success of Skyrim Grandma here or any big YouTubers, but I got a small following, and but it does drain on you. Like sometimes you want to play games you want to play, but sometimes you play differently than what people expect you to. So, or the way you talk might be not be the way you talk is something that they might not like to hear, or your game style is not something they want to see. So you can never satisfy everybody. So I got to a point where I kind of ignored those comments, but it's still in the back of your mind, and it kind of wears you down.
Yeah.
As someone who does make content, sometimes you just don't want to make content that day. You don't want to like make content and not enjoy what you do. So
Right.
there's a point in my where I switched from making gaming content to more like travel vlogs and more like vlogging in general.
Yeah.
And I found that a little more enjoyable because it's a little more creative, I thought, than making gaming content. Because typically what I would do is like I would make a video, live stream it or whatever. And if I wanted to edit that video down, I have to rewatch what I just did and edit the video down. And sometimes it's not enjoyable to do. Or the game I was playing at the time, it wasn't fun, but I had to fake like I was having fun.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make that content like ever again. So I want to do stuff that's fun. And the fact that she's doing it by herself, or like even when I was doing it by myself, it kind of got to me too. Like it almost became like a chore. Like, oh, I have to play today because like my schedule,
Yeah.
So I definitely get that.
I also want to point out that other than probably like a stressful upload schedule, dealing with negativity online is also like a big issue.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that the podcaster Joe Rogan, right? He's notorious for not reading comments on his podcast, his Instagram accounts or his Twitter. Like he doesn't read any comments, so he can just tune out all that negative stuff. And I kind of
like that idea too.
Yeah, I kind of support that idea too, since I'm a fairly new content creator, right? I'm fairly new at this, and for the most part, I enjoy it, and I don't want like some stupid comment, ruining my day and like ruining my my drive to want to stream or or play a game or something like that.
I kind of talked about this too. Like sometimes you do need some kind of like a thick skin to be a content creator.
You do,
but at the same time, we shouldn't have to feel that way. That we have to have thick skin. We just want to make content because we want to make content.
Yeah. And if you do have thick skin, right, you don't always have it. Sometimes you could just be having a shitty day, and then some idiot on YouTube or something just like makes it even more shittier. So sometimes I like tuning out like comments and from other people, which I know sounds terrible because you should have some level of interaction with your fan base too, but at the same time you really have to think about yourself.
If it's like criticism, like
constructive.
Yeah, exactly. If it's constructive, then yeah, that makes sense. But if it's simply just being negative just to be negative,
yeah,
why?
Yeah,
I
mean, yeah, it doesn't make it enjoyable. So I completely understand what Skyrim Grandma is going through. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to enjoy what I do, and I'm not gonna let some shitty comment on
ruin our days.
Yeah, ruin your day or your drive. So sometimes you really just have to tune people out and just
But ending on a positive note, someone actually broke the Guinness World Record for the oldest YouTuber. If you want to flip over.
All right. So an article by
90-year-old.
90-year-old YouTube gamer Hamako Mori now officially holds the Guinness World Record for the oldest gamer on the video platform. The YouTube star, who has over 270 subscribers, has been gaming for nearly 40 years and has credited the hobby for her long life. Gamer Grandma has been on YouTube since 2014, and she's admitted she plays video games for up to 8 hours a day.
Wow.
8 hours a day. Dude, we can't even stream for that long sometimes.
I know she's kicking our ass.
Though she loves GTA 5, she's also a bit of a horror fan. Games on her channel includes likes of Ben Studios' Days Gone and Capcom's recently released Resident Evil 3 remake. She's also been enjoying Final Fantasy 7 remake along with Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
That's pretty cool. That's a good variety of channel.
Wow, God bless her. More power to her. This is like amazing.
Yeah.
It's
And it just shows here that video games transcends age. You know, it could be someone as young as 4 starting out with gaming, or someone who's 90 years old still playing games.
Yeah,
age does not matter, and when it comes to video games, anyone can enjoy it.
We talked about this in the last episode, but like for a while, right? Video games they had this the stereotype that a certain group of people played it, right? It's usually like the nerdy, sheltered types, right? Like mostly men. But nowadays, like a lot more people. Gaming is so mainstream now. So many people game. It doesn't matter like what your sexual your gender, your sexual affiliation is. Like you can enjoy a game. You can be a 12-year-old, flaming you on Xbox lobby on Halo or something like that to the 90-year-old gamer grandma. So it's just amazing how video games has become this mainstream thing that we can all enjoy, and it unifies us. So it's such a nice article to end this video on. All right, that's it for the news for now. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for further updates on developing stories. If you guys liked the video, you can always leave us a like and a subscribe. And as always, if you want, you can leave a comment down below.
And since you guys are down there as well, if you guys are interested in like what we use for our recording sessions, we have Amazon affiliate links down below for you guys to check out. That's pretty much all I got.
This is Ribbon and Talos signing out. We'll see you guys later.
All right, later guys.